Hey guys, I just wanted to do a short rap. The Spirit's moving me to rap on something that actually means something to me. Uh, the positive appreciation of the many blessings I have been given and the source of those blessings. I've been blessed with a beautiful, lovely wife, two beautiful, wonderful daughters, four wonderful, handsome young sons that are amazing, a beautiful little granddaughter who I love so dearly already. She's only a couple months old. Her mother, my daughter-in-law, beautiful, beautiful, lovely girl, and my son-in-law, who's a good, decent man. And the source of those blessings, I want to offer positive appreciation to the source of my blessings, the universal source. To me, the universal source is God. I know God is Krishna, but by any name, whatever your name for God is fine. Krishna, I say Krishna. Krishna has bestowed these blessings on boons and benedictions. I've realized, as we all have at one point or another, as long as we don't forget, that when I'm the most happy is when I'm positively viewing and appreciating the blessings that I have in my life. This is when we're all most happy. When we're positively appreciating the boons and benedictions, blessings that we've been given from this universal source. Nowadays, a lot of people understand this. Some have a kind of an impersonal view of the source. Mine is more personal. I have a personal experience, but just in general, when you look in the mirror, you see a person. You see a personality. So even the impersonalists admit that we are born of the universe. So because we are expressions of this universal source, we're born of this universal source, but we are persons. So a child can't possess any qualities that the mother-father don't have. So because we're born of this universe also has a personality, it has this aspect. This universal source has this quality, this aspect of personality. Otherwise, how could we have it? How could we be persons? Child can only have the qualities of his mother-father. So to me, the mother-father God is Radha Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything to me. So I'm very much appreciative of all my loved ones. And there's way more. I'm not going to take too much time naming everybody that I love, everybody that's been a blessing to me in my life. But everyone has these blessings. And these blessings are the most dear and they're sacred. This is what everyone should try to focus on. Because no one is happier than when they're with their loved ones and positively appreciating their loved ones. This is a fact. The source of the blessing should also be appreciated. When one is given a boon and a benediction, a blessing of such great value as a loved one, for example, then how can one not love that benefactor, he who is given this gift? So for me, I also reciprocate by loving the source, the personal source, Krishna, or God by any name. Whatever you can conceive is fine. It's harder to show such appreciation or love, in fact, to something impersonal, just some power source. It's harder. And again, the fact is, scientifically and logically, it's not logical that persons can spring forth from something non-personal. The source has to have personality, otherwise we couldn't have it. The source has to be a person, otherwise we could not be persons. Scientifically, this is observable. Everywhere you look, you can see. No persons spring from non-person. No personalities come from something that is without personality. A child can only have what his parents have. So even as we know we're children of the universe, this life force within the universe, we must understand that this life force has personality. Otherwise, we could not have it. Even in the material world, we can see scientifically that only a person can beget a person. So this personality logically must be there, and scientifically we understand that it must be there. Nowhere do you see otherwise. Nowadays, there's a lot of understanding coming to light. Even though this is Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, and there's a lot of nescience and darkness happening, and I don't want to even go there because it's negative. I want to stay real positive. But even in this age, we can understand the more positive your consciousness can remain. If you can keep your consciousness positive, that positive things will manifest. This we've all experienced. And conversely, if your consciousness becomes distracted and becomes less positive, then less positive things manifest in your life. This we've all experienced. This isn't any spooky thing. I mean, we all know this. We forget sometimes, but we do all know. In my opinion, that's very, very true. The source that reciprocates with our vibration or our thoughts, in my view, is personal. And the law of, nowadays a lot of people think the law of attraction, there's other names, there's different groups that speak of these topics, the thoughts you think and like that. A lot of them have an impersonal view of this. It's a source, and their view is that we are in complete control, basically, of the thoughts and what manifests. And to a degree, that's true. It's relatively true. But because the source is personal, if one can develop a personal relationship with him, he can mitigate when we do forget and our thoughts are not so positive. During those times, he can mitigate, he can compensate. He gives special dispensation to his devotees during that time, and he'll turn that negativity around for positive more readily than he will for someone who doesn't reciprocate in this personal way. It's like there are also laws, just other laws, state laws, for example. You can't speed in your car. If you get caught speeding by the authority, the cops, you'll get pulled over, they'll issue you a heavy fine, you'll get points on your license, things like that. But if there's mitigating circumstances, which love is a mitigating circumstance, love. For example, if the cop pulls you over and you say, but officer, yes, I was speeding, but my wife, she's pregnant, she's having a baby, she's in labor, I'm trying to get the... Then the officer will actually give you an escort to the hospital. There will be no penalty, no fine, no punishment. You will actually be given a boon, a benediction, a personal escort by the authority to avoid all danger, and because of that love, the safety will be there. Because that love is there for the child, for the wife. So in this way, God can personally mitigate. Another example, where I drive through the city, I used to have work at night. I'd come home late at night, early in the morning. And, you know, there's no traffic. I'm looking around. I'm driving through the red lights and whatnot. Bing, I get pulled over. Well, the cop, knew my son. So once he saw who I was, he said, oh, no, you're good to go, brother. You know, Aaron's my buddy. You're good to go. No problem. So it's like that. If you know the authority, if you know the policeman personally, he can mitigate a lot of reactions. So the law itself is not absolute. The authority is absolute. The authority is absolute. The lawmaker is absolute. He who makes the law and he who enforces the law, he's the absolute authority. So he's the absolute truth. So the law says you get a speeding ticket, the law says you run a red light, you get a fine, you might get arrested. That's what the law says. But the authority, the cop who you personally know, no, go home, no problem. You might get a chastisement, a warning. I'd rather get a warning. So this is why it's better to have a personal relationship with the source than to have an impersonal one, where you're just like anybody else, you know, because we all slip and fall. Sometimes we break the law. Violating the law, I mean by trespassing the law, you mean you may think not so positively here and there. You might be distracted. So you're not appreciating fully, you're not as positive as you could be. You're not loving as much as you could be. Your thoughts are distracted. Because it's Kali Yuga. You know, this 2012 thing is hopefully will kick into it's supposed to be a golden age for a while. But still, in any age, this is very dangerous. So it's best if you have this personal relationship with the source. He can mitigate. So we do have to maintain, we have to do our part and consciously work at staying positive, appreciative, and loving, keeping the vibes up. And we have to do our part. It's a huge thing. There's a lot to all of that. There really is. I'm not minimizing that in any way. I'm trying to just augment. I'm trying to add to that understanding. And for those who may be able to accept, this is a positive thing I'm doing. You'll be able to get even more out of your positive thoughts and everything. If you understand that there's a personal God and He's the one who's bestowing every benediction, every good thing that you end up getting comes from God. That's the source that they talk about. But I just view it in a personal way, and someday I'll do a video on why I know that to be true. But just for now, just logically try and understand. And also, if you have a personal relationship with He who can deliver the positive manifestations, the not so positive manifestations, it's like having a relationship, like I say, with the police officer. Even if you get thrown in jail, if you know the jailer, Bing, he gives you early release. If You know, if you know the judge, even if you do get banged at, you're banged up, you get in the jackpot, you're jammed up, you go to the judge, he's a buddy of yours, you know him personally, he cuts you a little slack. It's like that. If you don't have any personal relationship with the jailer, the judge, the cop, then the laws are very, very rigid. But if you know the lawmaker, he who has created the laws, the source of all the results of our activities, if you know that source, who guides us too, by the way, you're a little better off. I'm a free man. I should be locked away for life. The only thing that ever saved me was my personal relationship. Should have thrown the key away. I got the tin cup, I'd be going on the bars like this, wanting a cup of water. The reason I'm a free man is because I have a personal relationship. It's not due to my saintliness. I'm no saint. I'm no angel. They ought to throw me in a can for life, throw the key away. Only because I know God. Only because I have a personal relationship did I even dodge a million bullets. And still, you'll get chastised, even with a personal relationship, just like a father chastises his children when they're screwing up. That's okay. We all get chastised. That's actually love. And then the other thing is, that's not quite fully understood on an impersonal level. Even with all the positive thinking, if what you're trying to desire, if what you think you desire is something that's going to keep you further away from the Lord, or keep you in where you're forgetting the Lord, where you're not remembering the Lord, I'm talking about the source, the original source. So even though the source provides everything, if you desire something that's not really advantageous to your remembering of the Lord, it's going to be harder to get those desires manifested if the Lord thinks it's going to bring you forgetfulness of Him. If you can dovetail your desires with the Lord's remembrance, with remembering the Lord, and establishing a relationship with Him. It's windy. Then your desires will manifest more readily. So if I desire something that the Lord knows, geez, if I give Him that, He'll never think of me. Then I'm not going to be able to obtain that. See, the thing is too, the Lord knows our hearts and our true desires better than we do. So sometimes we think we really want this or that, and the Lord knows, I know you think you want that, but here's what you need, so He gives us what we need. I've been blessed beyond anything a man could ever dream. And I should be locked up in the can. There's a Native American saying, a man becomes what he dreams. A man becomes what he dreams. And when I see the blessings I have, I've dreamt well. Peace and blessings. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama.